All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live today right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. If you're coming on, please do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know we are live on this beautiful Wednesday, W-I-N-S day. So for those of you that have been waiting for us for the past few minutes, we had a countdown, a timer. We were working out a few things to make sure that we could share this valuable, vital information with you. Please hit that like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know Prophet Ramon, the squad. We are here. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Please, if you got friends, you got family members, you got coworkers, you got colleagues, if you got a business and you got employees, you should invite them to come on, even if it's just for them to see that you are educating yourself and exposing yourself to different information that can help you. For all of my family who's in the faith community, you're a pastor, you're a preacher, you're a minister, you're a leader, you are a believer. You should be calling all your colleagues, all your staff members, your volunteers, your ministers, your church workers. It's very important, at least at this point in history, for even those of you that are in ministry to understand business concepts, business principles. It don't mean you watering down the gospel. It don't mean you compromising the integrity of what you're doing in your nonprofit or your church and ministry. It just means that you're willing to be an adult and to take responsibility for the things that need to be done. So welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I'm your host, Ramon Preston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, or maybe a little bit later, depending on what I got going on. Like today, we show up here on the show to really share information with you that's an extension of what my life is about, what my company is about, and what our products and services are about. We are a business consulting company. We are a business coaching company. We provide coaching, consulting, not just for business, but even for finances. We help individuals. We help entrepreneurs, small business owners, ministers. We help executives, even people who don't even have a job or a business, but just looking for what the next best thing is. We specialize in helping people start, structure, and at some point scale their businesses, their ministries, their income streams, and wealth building dreams. So that's all of what we do here. We help people start, structure, and scale their businesses, ministries, income streams, and wealth building dreams. Now, how do we do that? We do that through our consulting services. We do that through our coaching programs. We do that through our training programs. So we have consulting services. We have a consulting program called the Business Incubator, where we work with you to build your business out. We don't just give you information and send you on your way. In our Business Incubator, we actually work with you. We have a coaching program called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. It's a one-year program where we help set a foundation for you. We put a blueprint together for you. We put a game plan together for you. We coach you with one-on-one coaching sessions, weekly coaching calls, quarterly masterminds, workshops, and we also give you access to other benefits of that program, like our Millionaire Concierge, where you could call in, you can text and email, somebody's always available for you. We provide you with opportunities to come to our headquarters and just see how we run our organization. We have an online business and financial training program called the Millionaire Blueprint. So it's the online version of what I do as a business and financial coach and consultant. So everything that I share with you on this show is really a direct reflection and extension of what I do in my personal life and what we do in our company. So today I really wanted to take some time to talk to you about something I've really been talking to a lot of my clients on, and that is our SMS matrix. So I have this diagram up here today just to give you a visual idea of what our SMS matrix is. Some of you may be familiar with it, and maybe you're not familiar with it. If you're not familiar with it, let me just say our SMS matrix is actually a diagram that we use to explain. I'm trying to blow it up a little bit if it's going to let me blow it up. Are you going to let me blow you up? Come on. There it goes. So our SMS matrix is a diagram that we use to help explain our way of using the holding company concept to properly position you in the marketplace so that you can increase your sales, okay? So when you hear me talking about the SMS matrix, or when you hear me talking about the holding company concept, what I'm saying to you is, even if you understand the legal side of having a holding company, there's a concept side, there's a principle side, there's a way to use a holding company in order to not just like layer and protect your assets, but there's a concept side or a principle side of the holding company that can give you an advantage in the marketplace. So there's a certain way you use the holding company to not only position yourself properly in the marketplace, but you're also able to use the holding company to generate more sales. And we explain this to our clients as consultants, to our mentees in our coaching program, and even to our students who are online training with us. We explain this holding company concept through the SMS matrix. So if you're taking notes, I really want you to focus in on this. And don't worry, if you hear something and you're like, oh wow, I never knew that, or it's something interesting, I want to know more about that, don't worry. We have all of this information in our Millionaire Blueprint, our online program. We have it in our Millionaire Mentorship program. So if you are a mentee, if you are part of our coaching program for 1 year, I'm going to talk to you about this in your initial coaching session. We're going to be talking about it in our weekly coaching calls. We talk about it in our workshops, our masterminds. So you're going to familiarize yourself with it. You're going to be using this concept with your business at some point. If you're in our incubator, not only do you get this information, but we actually help build that infrastructure out for you. And of course, if you're a licensee, because we do have a licensing program, if you're a licensee, you can use this. You have a legal license to use this intellectual property and these proprietary processes that we use. So enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get to the meat. What is the SMS matrix? Okay, the SMS matrix, again, is what we use to help explain or describe how to use the holding company to position yourself in the market in order to increase your sales. That's what the SMS matrix is about. Now, the SMS is short for structure. If you can see it, it's short for structure, it's short for marketing, and it's short for sales. So SMS is structure, marketing, sales. Structure, marketing, sales. Now, why are those three that important for you to create a whole diagram around them? Because all of the other things that you do in your business are going to be byproducts of how you structure your business, how you market your business, and how you sell products and services through your business, period. So yes, financial systems are important. QuickBooks, making sure that you can balance your profit and loss, and you can implement certain creative tax strategies. Yes, operations and administration and logistics and back office IT, all those things are very, very important. Even customer service and customer retention, all those systems and processes are important. But guess what? None of that is going to mean anything if you don't make sales, because you ain't marketing and you don't have the right structure. So a lot of businesses, they are marketing, they are making sales, but they're not maximizing their business structures and systems and processes and practices in a way that they can actually increase that and expand that and accelerate that. So this is why I teach this. I created this because it worked for me. So for years, I was doing business backwards, okay? I went from just a hustler, scrapping, trying to figure out how to make a couple dollars on the weekend or on the side, to really moving into entrepreneurship and realizing that, wow, I'm an entrepreneur. I have that gene. I've got that itch, right? And what I realized was all this entrepreneurship that I was doing, it was generating some revenue. It was making a little money. It was giving me a little steam and a little momentum, but it wasn't consistent. It wasn't sustainable. So I'll be up 3 months, down 4 months, up 5 months, down 6 months. So it was just up and down, up and down, up and down, until I realized that, wow, in order for me to really have a successful, sustainable business, guess what I have to become? I've got to become a legitimate business owner. I'm sure all of you have or are experiencing this same process, right? So I realized I had to become a legitimate business owner. So once I started my journey to figure out how to become a legitimate business owner, I realized that, just starting a LLC, getting my EIN number, getting my articles of organization with the Secretary of State, opening up a bank account, getting a Duns and Bradstreet number, getting a couple Credit One or Capital One or First Premier credit cards for my business, and maybe a Home Depot card or a Lowe's card and some type of merchant account. I realized that none of those things really helped me create a sustainable, successful business. And so that's when I started my journey studying wealthy people, and more importantly, not just wealthy people, but the biggest, wealthiest organizations in the world. I'm talking about the J.C. Penney's of the world, the J.P. Morgans, the Bank of Americas, the Standard Oil companies. I'm talking about Merrill Lynch, and I'm talking about Charles Schwab. I'm talking about BlackRock. I'm talking about some of the big private equity groups. And I realized even Walton Enterprises and Walmart and some of the Amazons of the world and Berkshire Hathaway, what I realized was they used certain concepts to build businesses. And because they used concepts to build these businesses, they had certain protection, of course, but they also had certain advantages that gave them more attention in the marketplace, gave them more bandwidth, and ultimately afforded them the opportunities to make more sales. Now, of course, we're not those type of businesses, right? We're just everyday people, maybe working a job, trying to pivot out of that job and look for opportunity. Maybe we just got this itch to do a business. Maybe we got this idea. Maybe we good at a couple things, and all we trying to do is just figure out, how can I bring all this stuff together to make some extra money, to have something for me and my family. I'm telling you, that's something you want to do. You want to be successful in business. You want to have a sustainable business, but how you structure it is going to have everything to do with how you sustain it and how you succeed in it. I think we can all agree on that, right? So I put together this matrix to explain it, because in order for your business to really succeed, it's got to have all three of these elements. It's got to have the element of marketing. It's got to have the element of sales built into, literally built into the structure. So marketing and sales has to be built into the structure. So if you see all these moving parts, this is kind of like a matrix. I'll explain some of it. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to explain everything today, but I'm explaining as much as I can. But this is kind of like a matrix. From a business operational perspective, this is not just like a confused matrix. It's actually set up as a sales and marketing funnel and a pipeline. So when you start a business, how you structure that business when you start it, you should already have the marketing and sales built into it. So instead of you having a business and then within your business you build some sales funnel or some marketing funnel or some sales and marketing funnel or pipeline, your business, your entire organization, your entire enterprise should be that of a marketing and sales funnel and pipeline, so that everything that takes place in your business is actually creating activity to bring people into the ecosystem of your organizational enterprise. So just that alone changes the dynamics of how you do business. So again, we have structure, we got marketing, and then we got sales. Now let's look at structure, because when we say structure, we're talking about how you structure your business. How you structure your business. Well, the first part of structuring your business, we should all know, is about how you start and structure your holding company. Because no matter what type of business you have, no matter what type of industry you in, whether you're the plumber, whether you're the banker, whether you're the real estate person, whether you're the detailer, whether you the contractor, whether you're the digital marketer, the graphic designer, whatever the business is that you're in, the operating business that you want to start and the product and service you want to sell, I'm going to always recommend that whatever that business is, don't make that business your mountaintop business. Don't make it your mountaintop business. Because if at any point you get bored or you get tired of doing that, or you might just be doing it just to make some money because you know you're good at it, now you're limited because you've hit a ceiling. Because your mountaintop business is a business that you probably don't even want to do for the next 10 years. Now you got to come back around in the market. Now you got to explain to everybody why you ain't doing that business no more. Now you have to create a new message, a new brand, all of this all over again, when if you would have made sure that your mountaintop company, if you would have made sure that your mountaintop company was actually a holding company. Now, if your mountaintop company was a holding company, you don't have to move the top of the mountain every time one of your other businesses fails or your ideas don't work. You don't have to change the name. You don't have to repurpose your whole organization, because you're on top of that mountaintop business, and that mountaintop business or company should be your holding company. So we want to make sure that when we start our organization, because that's what we're starting, even though you have an operating business you want to start, even if you don't do anything with the holding company, I'm still going to tell you to start LLC number 1 as a holding company, just so that if at any point anything you do under this company changes, which is a reflection or representation of anything in this ecosystem, if a product you sell, you're no longer selling no more. If a service you provide, you don't provide no more. Anything you're doing under here, all that can change, but this doesn't change, because we got to keep you right here at the top of the mountain. So this is about starting and structuring your holding company. So that means you got to file your holding company paperwork. You got to form your holding company paperwork. A lot of people don't even know how to file and form their paperwork. Now, I've got a couple options for you if you have trouble understanding how to properly file and form a holding company. Number 1, I have a holding company course and startup kit with video walkthrough tutorials to show you from beginning to end how to obtain your EIN number as a holding company, how to obtain your articles of organization with the Secretary of State as a holding company, how to draft your operating agreement as a holding company, and I'm educating you on how this holding company should actually run. What do you do with it now that you have it? Because otherwise all you have is just a glorified LLC with holdings behind your name, or with enterprises behind your name, but you don't really know what to do with it because you don't understand the concept. So this is about starting and structuring it, filing and forming the paperwork correctly. Now, another thing you have to take into consideration when you're filing and forming your paperwork, especially if you want your holding company to be the mountaintop company that never changes and never moves, you've got to make sure that you file it and form it, or you set it up as a legacy company. Now you have to take legacy into consideration. I like to focus on the 3 B's. So the B of your business, this is your legacy, and this is your name. So I always tell my clients that when you're trying to figure out what is the first B of your infrastructure with regard to your legacy and your name, you got to think about, like, am I naming my first business the name of something I want to do today, but I might not want to do tomorrow? So for example, if you name Ramon Construction Services LLC, well, what if I don't want to do construction in 3 years? What if I find something better to do? What if I don't even want to do it now? I just have to do it. Why am I going to name my first business Ramon Construction? I should name it probably Ramon Preston Enterprises. So now it covers a conglomerate of things, and Ramon's Construction can actually be a subsidiary if I wanted it to be, but at least I don't have to change this. So Ramon's Construction is just a part of the brand identity of the business conglomerate of Ramon Preston Enterprises. This is how you have to think, because remember, if you're standing at the top of this mountain, you can't afford to be on the top of the mountain going into the marketplace and trying to explain to the world the 20 different businesses you got, the 80 different products and services you have. It's confusion. And guess what? Most business owners and entrepreneurs that have that problem, they're not marketing themselves right, if at all. And most likely they're not selling anything of value because they do not have a presence in the marketplace that people can be like assured that they're going to be there for a long time. So you want to make sure the first B of starting your LLC, number one, your holding company, is checked. Your legacy. It needs to be a legacy name. So it may be your name. It may be you and your wife's initials, Enterprises. It may be your granddaddy's name, your mother's maiden name, all your kids' initials name. Whatever it is, you need to think about the B of the legacy and the name. The second B is the brand identity. Like, you need to think about the brand identity. What is the identity of your business? Because if you have one name for your LLC, but then you have this whole nother idea of what your brand is about, and it's not even reflective of what you're doing at the top of this mountain, again, you're creating confusion. So you need to figure out what is the consistent brand that you are building. This is one of the reasons why our holding company, our LLC number one, is called Ramon Preston Enterprises. Why? Because I wanted to check all of the B's. I wanted to check the business, whose legacy is it, whose name does it represent, the brand identity. What is the brand identity? The Ramon Preston brand, the RP brand. So now when you see that RP logo somewhere, I got it everywhere. See that? Even on my coasters, when you see the RP logo somewhere, you're like, oh, that's Ramon Preston. At least at some point you'll think that. When you see Ramon Preston, you're thinking about a legacy, you're thinking about a name, you're thinking about a business, you're thinking about a brand identity at some point. And then the third B is the brand ambassador. The brand ambassador. So who is the brand ambassador? I am the brand ambassador. So now it makes it easier for me to set up, to start and structure my holding company, file and form it correctly, and then stand on the mountain. Now I don't have to move because I'm gonna always be Ramon Preston. And whether it's Ramon Preston representing water, Ramon Preston representing coasters, Ramon Preston representing clothes, Ramon Preston representing coaching, preaching, ministry, whatever, it's still a part of a brand that no matter what changes under here, this doesn't change. Am I making sense to you? That's why what I'm saying to you is so powerful. And a lot of my clients that get this information for the first time, it literally just changes their lives because they realize that, wow, I've been doing it wrong for a long time, and now I want to do it right. So listen, here's what I want to do. I would love to find out from those of you that are watching me today, What do you think about this SMS matrix? What do you think about how I'm explaining the holding company concept? Is it making sense to you? And if you don't have a holding company, I want to ask you a question. If it's making sense to you, do you think it's important for you to have one just so that you can be properly positioned, number one, at the top of the Mount Rushmore of your enterprise, but number two, so that you can have something that's consistent, that's not changing and moving every 3 to 5 years, because that's not what we want to do. Okay, I would love to know if you have one. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'll make this last point before I go, because I know I have so many things that I could be talking about today, and I'm trying my best to get as much of this content in so that you can really just wrap your mind around how important this concept is. Because when I'm teaching this concept to my students and to my clients, it's like an eye-opener for them, because they start realizing that, wow, I've been missing it. Okay, so we have our structure. Let's just assume we started and structured our holding company, right? LLC number one, we filed it right, we formed it right, we got our operating agreement in place, we have the right name that represents a legacy, we use the name as brand identity, we have someone who could be designated as a brand ambassador. Let's assume we check the box of those 3 B's. Now, what is the next important aspect of this whole structure component to the matrix? Well, the next important factor is how you position yourself as an expert in your niche in the marketplace. Because remember, we want to focus on marketing. So if you're here and this is your holding company, and you have divisions and subsidiaries, and you have like a whole world of products and services, now it just makes it easier for you to conduct a business here, and really, you know, like you can handle the traffic. You know how to direct the traffic from up here. Because now when you go into the marketplace, you're not having to explain 20 different things. You're just explaining, hey, my name is Ramon Preston of Ramon Preston Enterprises, and here is what we're made of. Now I can bring you in, and I can direct traffic to make sure you get to where you want to go, whether it's roofing, whether it's painting, whether it's apparel, whether it's digital marketing, whether it's car services, whether it's transportation services, whether it's trucking, all these things, they should all still be in the ecosystem, not up here at the top, because number one, you're going to be confused if it's like that. So now we want to focus on how do you position yourself as an expert in your niche. This is a critical, and really it's kind of like a fatal mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make, because what they do is they don't position themselves as experts in their niche in the marketplace. They don't position themselves as experts in their niche. So what do you mean by that? Here's what I mean. Let's say, for example, if you are the plumber. Let's just say, for example, you're the plumber. Okay? Let's say if you're the plumber, right? You're Joe the plumber, you're Jane the plumber. So what do? You provide plumbing services, correct? You know how to fix toilets, you know how to fix faucets, you know how to stop leaking sinks, you know how to put in new pipes. You're the plumber. Well, guess what? If you position yourself in the marketplace as a plumber, and if your main business is just a plumbing business, but you want to grow, you want to expand, you want to be the next best thing since sliced bread when it comes to plumbing, properly positioning yourself in the market as an expert is going to elevate your business, your sales, and your value, because you're not going to position yourself just as Joe or Jan the plumber. If you take what I'm saying to you and you create some type of conglomerate like a holding company, and now you use your holding company to stand on, even if your plumbing company is in the ecosystem. Up here, that's not how you're positioning yourself in the market. You're going to position yourself up here as Joe or Jan, the plumbing expert. But you're the plumbing expert not just to provide plumbing services, but you're the plumbing expert to provide information to people about plumbing, to provide consulting to people about plumbing, to be a go-to directory and a liaison for people who just need to know the right things to do when it comes to plumbing. So now, if I am introduced to Joe or Jan, the plumbing expert, who gives me a lot of valuable, vital information about plumbing, about pipes, about toilets, about who to hire, who not to hire, about invoices and estimates and all these things, and also about things that are connected to plumbing. Now you gotta paint, now you gotta do drywall, all these things you have to consider when plumbing issues come up. Now, even if Joe or Jan, the plumbing expert, even if they don't mention that they have a plumbing service, the fact that they have given me more value as a consumer, I may ask them, or they may say, hey, by the way, the thing that I just gave you all this information on, I happen to own a plumbing company. It's one of the divisions within my organization. And I'll be more than happy to send someone out to give you an estimate, but here is how that estimate should be, because you gave them information. See, the fact that you position yourself as an expert in your niche from the mountaintop, you get what I'm saying? Like, you came all the way to the mountaintop and you positioned yourself as an expert. The fact that you did that, it gave you more value in the marketplace because you understood being Joe the plumber was no different than everybody else. But when you can come into the marketplace and show the marketplace that I'm not just the plumber, I'm not just the digital marketer, I'm not just the designer, I'm not just the contractor or the car washer or whatever I am, the house cleaner, I'm an expert in my field, and I have a company or organizational conglomerate that's built in a way that gives me the leverage. Come on, get right. That gives me the leverage. I just lost that. That gives me the leverage to not only be the expert, but also have divisions and subsidiaries that can enhance what I do or complement what I do. So what I'm sharing with you is very vital. I hope just a few points that I made based on the SMS matrix made sense. There are other points that I'm going to have to share with you probably tomorrow and for the next few days, but at least you've gotten an opportunity to wrap your mind around how important structuring your business as a holding company, positioning yourself as an expert is, even if it's just to increase the value of the real products and services that you're providing, because now you're separating yourself from just being the service provider or the product seller. You're separating yourself from that to the expert in that particular field. So if you want access to our holding company course and startup kit and all of this information I'm sharing with you, we have the course, we have the startup kit, we also have an entire Millionaire Blueprint with all of the courses in it. I would love to give you access to it, but first I would just need to know, what exactly do you need? What type of information do you need? Do you have a LLC already? Do you just need to switch your LLC up and move things around? Or do you need to start a new holding company and transfer the ownership of your current LLC to your new one? I don't know what it is that you're doing or what you anticipate to do, but I want you to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to take a few minutes to share my expertise with you and to show you how to actually do it the right way. Because I'm telling you, especially when we're in times like these, a recession, the market is volatile, things are looking crazy, people are becoming fearful and uncertain. How you go into the marketplace as an entrepreneur is going to have a lot to do with how valuable you become and what demand that the market gives for what it is that you provide. So if you want more information, all you have to do is text the word millionaire. Just text the word millionaire to 404-478-7213. 404-478-7213. Again, we have a holding company course and startup kit that we could give you access to. All this information that I'm talking about, you get it all in there. And we have many more programs. We have programs for financial literacy, for real estate investing, for creative tax strategies. We have programs for business coaching and consulting. So we're not limited in what we can provide for you. But if you're just focusing on your holding company, your operating entities, and making sure that you do it right, we've got a course and a startup kit for you, and we actually do the paperwork for you. We provide the service. If you need someone to file and form your holding company paperwork or your operating LLC paperwork, we could do that for you as well. We have somebody on YouTube, Forever Yours. They said, "We have not forgotten about you and your amazing services. We are still building our church organization, so it has taken a while, but you are not being overlooked." Elder William Allen, Metropolitan. Shout out to you, Elder William. Appreciate you. James, blessings to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Ricky, thank you. Appreciate you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I've got to go get back to work. You know, I stop every day in the middle of the day to come on here live and to share information with you for free. But if there's anything that you need access to, any information, you need to get this information. You need to be putting this stuff together now so that when things start changing and turning, you're already positioned to capitalize on the opportunities because you did the right thing the first time. So reach out to me, text millionaire to 404-478-7213. Appreciate you, love you. I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Ramon Preston